Hey, hello. Welcome to episode number 58 of the People We Love podcast. I am Adam Choi. What's up? If you're new here, what I do is interview people from all walks of life, often comedians and other artists, about their lives and careers. It's casual conversation, but I also ask everyone to highlight someone they love, someone who they admire, who influenced them, inspired them, or supported them. For more, check out peoplewelovepodcast.com. That's peoplewelovepodcast.com. And the Instagram handle is peoplewelovepodcast. And you can find me on Instagram as well, Adam Choi, my name. And remember to tap subscribe or follow on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. And of course, 5-star positive reviews on iTunes are greatly appreciated as well. So, today's guest is Indiana's own comedian and actor Christine Little. Although her childhood and teen years were often tumultuous and challenging, she ended up becoming best friends with a girl in school suspension after the two got into a fight of all things. This girl was Nikki Mehdiyoun. After high school, Christine went on to study business and psychology, but with thoughts of California always on her mind, after taking one acting class in college, the rest was history. And acting led to sketch comedy, led to stand-up comedy, and along the way, Nikki has always been super supportive of Christine. So let's just get into this one. Here's Christine Little. So it's good to see you today, Christine Little.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for dropping by the studio. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
How's your day going?
It's going pretty chill.
Yeah.
Having a great day. No complaints. I haven't journaled yet, but maybe I'll get to it. Maybe I won't.
Oh, tell me about the journaling. What goes in there?
Oh, man, I feel like I
with that?
always talk about this. The morning pages. Have you done that? Have you heard of the Artist's Way?
That rings a bell for sure.
I feel like you would like it. I know I don't know you, but
I probably do similar things to it.
I think you would like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you write 3 pages every day. It's like this 12-week program, kind of like you read this book and you do these exercises, and every day you write 3 pages called the morning pages, and then you go on an artist date. Every week you take yourself on a date by yourself.
Yeah.
An artist date. It could be to like a museum or on a walk or cleaning your closet.
I think I'm doing that already.
Yeah.
Maybe not the 3. What goes into the 3 pages?
It's a spiritual recovery for creatives.
Yeah.
It's supposed to just like, open you up more creatively.
Yeah, I needed that 14 months ago. Where was that? No, I'm just kidding.
It was there, dude.
Yeah. Well, tell me what goes into the 3 pages?
Man, it's not even that deep.
It's freeform kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I gotta go poop. Oh, well, now it's 4 o'clock.
Oh, I can churn out 3 pages.
It's really easy. It's poop. Just to like, I shouldn't have said that, but it's true. But like, it's just kind of emptying you out, of all this stuff that's going on in your head, just kind of clearing your head. I thought
that was also about
pooping.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until now.
I realized it right away.
Good for you, dude.
You're welcome. I'm great. Anyway, let's why don't we can get back to journaling later, and maybe we will revisit. But why don't we get into your life and start from birth and leaving the hospital on the way home, and tell me what you remember from that ride, if anything.
Rumor has it that when I was born, the doctors were laughing. I was already doing bits. I'm just kidding. That I came out pouting and not crying.
Pouting and not crying.
Yeah.
What's the difference between pouting?
Pouting is like,
I see.
And then crying is like, wah, wah.
I think people can picture the expressions that you were making when you made that sound.
Yeah.
You wanted to describe them.
It's pretty, it's pouting. It's
what
crying.
were you upset about?
I don't know. I think I just went through a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
I was like in this one environment, and then all of a sudden I'm getting pushed out. It's warm inside. It's cold outside. There's all these senses that I'm just, sensory overload of things I'm not used to. My eyes have never been opened. It's just a lot.
It was.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanted to go back.
Probably.
Yeah.
I guess I was like in there a long time.
Yeah.
Like more than normal.
How were you really? Wow.
Yeah. I was supposed to be born in like March or April or something, and I was born in May.
Yeah.
May 1st. I was waiting for the right time.
You were in there for 10, 11 months?
I'm like an elephant, dude.
Yeah. Is that how long they are?
When I was born, I had like a full head of hair. I had boobs. I didn't know what to say. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. Very precocious.
You were born a woman, huh?
I was born a
Full-grown adult.
I was born an adult. I was like a teenager. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna use the car.
Well, when they brought their newborn teenager home, what did what was that like? What do you remember from early memories? 3, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years old.
Oh wow.
You were born. You grew up in Indiana.
I remember.
You're telling me,
I
correct?
remember I remember my parents fighting. I was at the bottom of the stairs. Me and my brother.
Or like real early.
Yeah, that was an early memory. And then I remember like my mom or someone trying to put me to bed, and it was just dark in the room. And I could, when your eyes adjust from light to dark,
Yeah.
and you see all these like things, like it's your cones and your rod receptors are doing all kinds of crazy
You
stuff.
see weird colors even though it's dark.
And I remember being scared because I didn't know what it was. I thought it was bugs, and I didn't want to be in there. So those are kind of my two, like the earliest I can remember.
Yeah. There's a lot there. There's
You think
a lot.
so?
I think so.
Yeah. We'll never know.
Yeah. That's for someone else to
Not
to
my
dissect.
problem.
Yeah.
Not my issue.
What about pleasant? Any pleasant memories besides
Yes.
your parents fighting and bugs in your eyes in the dark?
Bugs in my and that was the first time I did meth.
Yeah.
No,
Baby's first meth experience.
yeah. I vaguely remember my dad coming home for my birthday. He just like barely made it, and he bought me a bunch of dolls. So I vaguely remember that, like being like, "Oh, I want my dad," and then he surprised me, and he came. I was very young because I think he was working at a state at the time. Yeah.
What about elementary school? You said you grew up. It was you and your brother.
Yeah, I had an older brother. I still do. He's still older than me.
You're still anything? Yeah.
Not quite caught up.
You're trying.
I'm trying
Well, you're
every
trying
year.
not to, maybe.
Getting older is better than the alternative.
That's what my grandmother always says. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm your grandma.
Oh.
Surprise. I tear off a mask. Hey, Adam.
Is this Scooby Doo? Kind of weird ass Scooby Doo.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Backwards Scooby Doo, where someone reveals himself, but it's someone that you like, not a criminal.
Not like
a criminal.
Actually, usually it was someone that they didn't suspect, and they're
Right.
like, "I would have," and then they become mean. They're like, I would have got away with it.
I didn't always know who it was.
No, it was great.
It was pretty well.
I was
it must have been well
pretty
written.
surprised consistently.
Yeah, and it's a cartoon for kids.
Yeah.
And I know. I mean, I guess I'm not good at that stuff anyway. But I remember,
Do you think that it inspired a generation of kids to become detectives?
No, I think
Okay.
it's them to get fans and dogs and smoke weed.
I
think that's probably
there's
what-
one take
and
on
watch
it.
cartoons.
Maybe some went one way and some went the other way. We'll
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, well, people like escape rooms.
That's true. They do.
You ever do one of those?
I haven't. Have you?
No, I'm claustrophobic.
I think they'll let you out if
No.
you really need to leave.
I'm
but
not.
I get that sentiment for sure. I definitely get
I'm
that.
not claustrophobic, but
So you lied.
I did.
Okay.
I'm not clinically. I suppose.
Not diagnosed. But do you does it make you anxious to be in enclosed spaces?
Only with people I don't like.
Only with people. So not if you were by yourself, you'd be okay.
Probably.
What do you think of the idea of being buried alive? Are you in for it, not for it? What are your thoughts?
Depends how that day's going for me.
Okay, that's pretty
know,
honest. Okay.
If traffic is bad and, work is tough and things are not going my way and fucking that girl won't text me back, whatever. Then maybe you catch me on the...
You're like, I'll get buried alive today.
Yeah.
That's
How hard is the surface, the ground? Yeah, we got to get away from this, I think.
This was you, dude.
This is not me. This
I
is
brought
you.
it up, but
Yeah.
you got weirder on it.
Yeah, I did. Anyway, so...
Yeah, me and my brother,
Yeah, you and your brother.
4 years older. His name was Albert. And he was like my mentor. And I don't know if he'd be my mentor, but mentor for life, I guess. He was a good big brother. He'd look out for me, and we're total opposites. Like the way my parents described it was like as a baby, Al was like super chill, like never cried unless he really needed something. Super chill, easygoing baby. And then they go, And then we had you. And we were disappointed. No, I'm just kidding. And I cried, I guess, like all the time. Still do.
Yeah.
I still cry all the time.
All right, do you cry for everything? Sadness, happiness, little things, big things?
Maybe like sad things.
When you say cry, is it like you're bawling all the time, or just like tears come out easily?
I'm sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm just a sensitive person.
I better watch what I say.
No, not like that. Like today, I don't know, something might hit me emotionally and I won't even really know it at the time, but I was recalling a story to my roommate today, and then as I was telling it, I started feeling emotional.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I didn't even know I felt anything about that. It's crazy.
Who knew I had feelings?
Maybe I'm tired.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
In what ways did your brother look out for you?
Well, there was this one time where I guess my dad was like, what were we doing? Well, he would teach me everything. He still does. Like, he knows so much about like, if I ever have a question, I'll ask him and he'll have a good answer. Like, he likes to learn. He loves to study history and things like that. And he's very patient. Very patient
and knowledgeable on a wide variety of subjects.
Yeah. He's a good person. And I'm like so opposite of that. Not that I'm a bad person who's impatient, but I'm not a good person and I don't like waiting.
You're impatient and you're not knowledgeable.
Yeah.
You said you were the opposite.
I know. I did say the opposite. You just didn't catch it.
I know. You mean personality. I get where you're coming from.
So one time my dad was like joking around like he was going to leave me somewhere. My childhood sounds traumatic so far, doesn't it? He was joking
my
around.
parents have left me places by accident, but
They
that's
did?
a whole nother conversation.
They left you?
Well, they came back.
Where? Oh my God, I get it. Your Home Alone was based off of you.
No, but I do love that movie.
You could relate to it.
Yeah, I guess so.
They accidentally left him. That was like the whole plot.
Not for days or weeks or whatever, but
just like a few hours. What, like at the babysitters or like?
I think they were like buying houses or looking for houses, and they were like
plural, multiple houses.
Well, I mean, one house during different houses to buy one of them during it.
House shopping.
Yeah, house shopping.
Okay.
And I think they drove away or something, or they went to another thing, and they went back, and there I was in the street crying or something. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
No. I remember being told that.
How old were you?
5 or 6.
Yeah, like 15, 16.
Yeah, I was 17.
Do you have siblings?
I have an older sister.
How much older?
18 months older.
Oh, wow.
2 grades or whatever.
So you guys must be really close.
We are pretty close. She used to live in LA, but she's in New York now. Back in New York.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, my brother, like my dad was like, come on, Christine, let's go. And I was just standing there, I guess, like an idiot, like, oh. And he's like, I'm going to leave. And he pretended like he was going to leave. And my brother was like, no. And he like went out and like picked me up and then and he's not much bigger than me at the time, but he picked me up and brought me in the truck. And it's funny.
Your dad pretended that he was going to leave, go somewhere without you?
Yeah, he's a real jokester.
Yeah. Is that where you got it from?
Partially, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. My mom's funny too, but like in a different way.
What else? What kind of things were you into in like elementary school, like for fun?
I liked Barbies at some point. I liked to like act out movies and stuff. Like one time, one of my greatest Barbie play sessions was with my
Barbie play session.
Very
official.
Was with my friend Ty, and we reenacted Sleeping with the Enemy, and we called it Sleeping with the Barbie, and it was really good.
How old were you when you did that?
15, 16. I'm just kidding. I was totally kidding. No. At that age, you shouldn't play with Barbies. I mean, you can.
But that movie is more appropriate for that age.
Yeah.
That's why I went with it.
Well, back in my day, okay, like I'm 19. Wink, wink. No, I'm not. But when I was a kid, like I feel like you could watch whatever you want. It wasn't like this big deal about, or maybe it was for some people. My mom would just cover our eyes if we watched if something bad was happening during the movie or sexual or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I saw Sleeping with the Enemy. I turned out fine.
Okay, but you did play with Barbies when you were significantly younger as well.
Yeah, I played with Barbies.
in a different way.
What do you mean?
Like not reenacting sleeping with the enemy? Just
No, I really did do that.
But when you were how old? How old?
I don't know, like elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty precocious.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's funny. What kind of student were you?
In elementary school?
In elementary school.
I thought I was a good student. I remember wanting to get all A's, but always getting a B.
Yeah.
And but I think before that, I don't think I was very good. I don't really have a great memory of, second, third grade.
Yeah.
Or really fourth even.
Did you like elementary school? Did you like school?
That's a great question.
You
I
didn't
never
think about
thought
it one way. Like,
I liked clowning with my friends and laughing a lot. So yeah, I like to be social with my friends.
were you already a kind of a class clown at that point?
I don't know if I was a class clown. That came maybe I think it started more so in 5th grade when I had this friend who I had met in 1st grade. We were in the same class. And she, the first day of 5th grade, back then you don't know who's going to be in your class. You don't know what to expect. It's kind of exciting. First day of school.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I hope I have friends in here. And who's going to be my friend?
Yeah, I liked the first day of school, the second day, and then the next 300 those were.
You didn't like him?
No, it was okay.
It was exciting to, at first, you got your new clothes and you're like, what's my life like this year? You got this new teacher. You're kind of like, are they going to be cool? So I walk in the class in 5th grade and there's Pat. And Pat and I, my birthday's May 1st, hers is May 2nd. And in 1st grade, I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. In 1st grade, we both had birthday parties. And she really campaigned for hers. I didn't. And no one came.
Promoted it, you mean?
Yeah, she was like a little promoter.
Yeah.
You know, come to my birthday.
She made a flyer.
Probably.
Yeah.
She's good.
Yeah.
And
So she's your agent now.
I remember her being really silly. I haven't talked to her in years. But then no one came to my birthday party.
That's traumatic. No one?
No one. And then one person did. And it was fun. But it was like, God, yeah, that sucked. The next year, it was fine. We danced to Vanilla Ice. It was a good time.
So your birthday was the same party, was the same day as your...
Probably, or the same weekend or something.
People partied out or whatever.
Yeah, they're not going to go to 2.
And that's in Indiana, too. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
Like some LA politics, maybe.
I don't know what happened. I mean, they could have gone to 2. Yeah. God, now if I look into it more, I might get really sad.
Yeah, let's get everyone.
Was this a race thing? What was this about? Was I not
back
cool?
For this.
What?
We got to get everyone back for this.
No, it's fine. It was fine the next year. It's like a risk you take when you put yourself out there. You know that, right? You produce things.
Yeah, no doubt. No, that's commendable to have a birthday party.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Putting yourself out there in any way, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a party every year now.
Fun.
Yeah.
What about...
same place.
Same place.
I do. I have here in LA.
You have a birthday tradition?
Yeah.
What is that? Do you want to share that?
I go to my favorite restaurant and I usually go on an off night because there's this side room that's usually not rented out. Okay. And so me and my friends take over that and it's just a really good time.
Yeah, you don't name the restaurant because you don't want fucking hooligans.
Yahoos showing up. You heard about that happens too almost every year. People show up and they're like, oh yeah. And I just invite people specifically, not in a mean girl way, but I want to curate the party and make sure it's the most fun.
It's your party. You should be able to have whoever you want at your party. And if you let me know if anyone is there who's not supposed to be there, and I'll tell someone else that they should deal with it. Okay,
thank you. I appreciate.
You're welcome.
I appreciate your delegation skills.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
What about middle school? Where do we go after elementary school? What happened next?
Oh, I didn't tell you about Pat.
Oh, Pat. Yeah, let's get into Pat.
So then in 5th grade, I come in the class and she's like, hey, Christine, want to sit next to me? And I'm like, well, I don't see anyone else here that I know as well. So sure. I mean, I didn't say that. And she used to annoy the crap out of me. She would make fart noises. We'd line up in class and she'd go, Miss Stevenson farted. This guy fart. And I thought it was so annoying. And then I don't know what happened. One day I just succumbed to it. And then we were constantly laughing and making fun of things and just being pretty wild. And it was a lot of fun.
Did you get in trouble?
Oh, yeah. We got in trouble.
They just scolded, nothing too
major. Detention. No, not detention. Like I had to write something 50 times. I missed recess maybe a couple times.
In school.
Stuff like that. I got in-school suspension a lot in junior high.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
a lot.
that all
In
about,
8th grade. Again, just having a good time.
What does that mean?
Well, okay, so 5th grade, 6th grade, I was still on my like, I'm gonna be
A's, yeah.
I'll get good grades. I've got good friends. I've got a good thing going here. I've been living here, this area, since I was in 1st grade. I feel established, and so
you sound like a very reflective kid.
Well, I'm thinking of it now as an adult. I'm putting it in adult terms, but yeah, I'm established. This is what was going on. So my parents are divorced. My dad had primary custody. And we got evicted again. And yeah, we got evicted again. And my dad had to wind up moving with my step family. I had a whole step family. That's a whole thing. To a city that I had heard bad things about. And I didn't want to go there.
This is all in Indiana.
Yeah. It was Carmel, Indiana. And it's a very friffy foo-foo place. And my dad agreed to let me and my brother finish out junior high and me finish out elementary school, still in the same area that my mom lived in, going to that school. And then after that, we had to live back with him, and we didn't want to go. We wanted to stay where we had our friends, and, we didn't want to go to this area, blah, blah, blah. And my dad was like, no. And so we had to live back with him, and I got really upset. I got really, really upset. So I just quit caring. I cut my hair. I got a fake lip ring. What else did I do? I just didn't care. I didn't want to do homework. I didn't care about homework. I didn't care about school. In my mind, I was not staying there. So I didn't want to invest at all. And so, you know,
unhappy.
I was very unhappy. Very unhappy. And then my stepmom's niece, my step cousin, was allowed to live with us from Missouri. And so she was a friend and we got along and things like that. And that made it a little better, but she was younger than me. So she wasn't even like in the same grade. So it was still pretty lonely at school. And then I had another friend from the west side of Indianapolis, moved to Carmel as well. And then she was like trying to fit in too much. And we were still friends. She was just like acting brand new. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys didn't vibe for whatever reason.
We were friends, but she wasn't really like, I didn't feel like she totally had my back, you know?
Yeah. She wasn't a good friend. She was between acquaintance and friend, maybe.
She was a friend, even. But unreliable.
Yeah.
So then, and we like had like we'd fight and be friends, you know, teenage bullshit.
Yeah.
So then, what happened? Oh yeah. So at the end of my 7th grade year, I had started to have more friends and stuff like that. I smoked a cigarette for the first time. Smoked pot for the first time. And I got in a fight with this girl named Nikki. I threw gum in her hair. And we fought on the way out to the buses.
Well, about what?
I didn't like her. She didn't like me.
Yeah.
I really didn't like her because she was trying to hook her best friend up with my boyfriend. Dylan.
Just to cause trouble.
Not to cause trouble, but I felt disregarded.
Yeah.
And not to mention, she came up to me in school one day and was like, are you like black or like white or like what are you?
And she said it like that.
Yeah. And I was like, well, actually I'm mixed. And she's like, okay. And just like walked away. And I was like, oh, okay. What about, she was like cool and pretty and just kind of a.
Where is she now?
Okay. So then we fought. And then we got in school suspension. And then in school suspension, we kind of started being friends. And then she became my best friend. And we're still friends to this day. Yeah.
And that's, what's her name?
Nikki.
Does she live in L.A.?
She did. She lives in Indianapolis now. She's back in Indy.
But you guys talk a lot?
Not as much, not as often. But she'll usually come to a show if I go home, when I go home.
What happened in the in-school suspension?
I was in her wedding.
That led you guys to becoming friends. What changed from?
Maybe a common enemy. I don't know.
The school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever was running ISS.
Yeah.
Like, I think we were flicking some kind of paper or something. And then we kind of became friends. We're cool. And then before 8th grade year, she called me and was like, who's in your class? And it was weird because I had a dream about her, like that we were friends. And then we became best friends. And then we got in school suspension a lot in 8th grade.
That was your favorite activity together?
We didn't do it on purpose. It would just happen.
What were you guys
We
doing?
brought water guns to school and started having a water fight in gym class. We ran down the halls like a herd of elephants. She depantsed someone and, I don't know. We brought a lighter to school. We're not supposed to smoke.
Just little
stuff.
teenagery things.
We had a good time. We had a really good time.
What about high school? Were you friends with
Yeah. Nikki Mehdiyoun.
what was the last name?
Mehdiyoun. Conrad now.
Gotcha.
So Nikki wound up marrying Ryan Conrad. And Ryan, like Nikki in junior high was a gangster and he was a prep. So it's technically in the gangster crew or whatever.
What do you mean gangster? What kind
Gangster. That was like a subset of kids that we didn't have on the west side, which is weird because that's probably more hardcore than Carmel, this ritzy foo-foo area.
Were the gangsters actually gangsters? And what?
I mean, they felt like they were affiliated with gangs and stuff, but they'd wear red and they would.
Oh, that's kind of
They'd all wear Boss and stuff, and they weren't real gangsters.
They weren't real gangsters, but they weren't.
They were down.
Yeah, they were not to be fucked with. It wouldn't be a good idea to fuck with them,
Right?
even though that they were not. They're not the most hardcore, but don't fuck with them.
They're tough.
Yeah,
Tough kids.
I should have been a gangster.
What were you?
A gangster.
What were you?
I was a Jew.
Oh, how's that?
It has its ups and downs.
In New York.
Yeah. So I wasn't the only one.
Right.
But I don't know. I was just like fucking dude who tried to be friends with everyone, maybe.
How was that?
It had its ups and downs.
Yeah. Did you have a group of friends?
Yeah,
like a core
friends, for
core
sure.
group?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're figuring me out now. We're all a bunch of freaks. That's how we end up here, I think.
You speak for yourself. I'm completely normal.
Yeah.
JK. Rawlings.
Just kidding about just kidding.
Yeah.
I got you.
JK.
Tell me about high school more.
Well, I didn't care until about junior year. But didn't like school, didn't like going. 9th grade, 10th grade. I did party a lot. I think I went through a lot.
I think so.
And I just...
You definitely went through a lot.
My head...
a lot.
Yeah, you don't even know the half of it or a quarter of it.
I know an eighth or ninth of it, maybe.
Yeah. And so like, I just didn't care. I didn't really care. I didn't get along with my mom. My dad was at work. My stepmom was on drugs. Like, I didn't care. I just wanted to hang out with my friends.
So you weren't involved in any sort of like school activities?
Nothing.
Class, clubs, sports?
Nothing.
What about comedy or anything like that? Was that even a thought in your mind at all?
No way.
I
didn't even do speech class. I wouldn't even take a speech class.
Up to this point, like, what kind of stuff were you consuming as far as maybe TV or movies? Were you into anything like that even?
Yeah.
Were you watching TV shows?
I remember a point in, was it junior high or high school? When did the feds raid our place? I'm just kidding. It was the SWAT team. When was that? I want to say junior high. I got really into Beavis and Butthead at one point.
I could see that.
That's stupid. Like, I don't know. I thought that was funny.
No, it is funny.
What else did I like?
It's a good show.
God, what did I like? I don't remember. What was that? I liked rap. No Limit Soldiers, Master P, all those guys were like, I loved, with a capital LOVED, Bone Thugs and Harmony. I was obsessed with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
So you like rap and Beavis and Butthead and partying and not school and not your family. Speaking generally, no, I'm kidding. I'm just.
Man, yeah. When you say it like that, let me think. I guess that's pretty.
Summarizing your.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty spot on. Yeah.
But you got through high school.
I did.
You graduated?
Yes, I did.
There you go.
I did graduate. I graduated early.
Look at that.
Because the junior year, I started caring, and then senior year, they had this promo at school. Like if you had perfect attendance, you didn't have to take your finals and you could graduate early.
That's what inspired you to do a little bit better?
No, I just started to think more about my future. We had moved out from my step family when I was in 9th grade. And then eventually got our own place. I was living at Nikki's house for a while. My dad was living in a motel. And my mom had no idea that I was living at Nikki's house.
Was that good? I mean, not good living at Nikki, but like, was that a positive experience overall?
Living at Nikki's?
Yeah.
It was fun to live with your best friend.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah. It didn't feel good lying and stuff. You know, my mom would come pick me up at my house, but we were evicted from that place now. So
what about Nikki's family? Did they know that you, I guess, weren't supposed to be there, I guess, technically?
Oh, I was. Her mom knew that I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was happy to help.
Yeah.
I wasn't the first person that.
Yeah, you were a
friend that lived there.
People, were happy to help you, knowing that you're dealing with, probably a lot.
I don't think they totally knew all of it, but there was like a lot of like custody battles and court stuff and things that happened that made it tough and made me feel like I couldn't really, I couldn't tell my mom the truth. And
yeah,
I felt my freedom was threatened. I didn't know who to trust,
That's a lot for a teenager to handle. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I complain about stupid shit.
It's all relative.
It is.
It's all relative. Like,
everybody's got problems.
Yeah.
Problems.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's good to like hear other people. I always come back to this kind of thing. Like, yeah, everyone's troubles it's all relative. You shouldn't diminish your own thing. But I think it's good to hear other people's struggles because it gives you perspective a little bit. And I think that might help. Can you gain perspective without diminishing your own struggles? Can those things coexist? You can think on that.
Yeah, I mean, you can just have compassion for yourself and for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working on it every day.
It's hard. It's really hard. We're not really taught that.
No, they don't teach you anything in schools.
Nothing that
Even
you
if we had
paid
paid attention, they wouldn't have been teaching us those things.
I would have loved if they would have taught about money management or like emotional intelligence or whatever. But it is what it is. And it's probably different now, I'm sure. But
slightly, maybe.
Slightly.
Not in public schools.
No,
maybe.
Did you go to a private school?
I went to public school.
Okay.
I went to Syracuse College, but up until all through elementary school, middle school, high school was all public school.
Were you in the same school district the whole time? Or?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, from second grade through whatever. It was a good school district.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I learned some things. Most of it is useless stuff, but enough.
Yeah.
Enough to get me to the next step in life.
It seems like you're doing well. You must have learned something.
Yeah, maybe. Not from that though. From other things.
It's all learning
YouTube.
Experience.
It's all YouTube. Learning on YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube.
Isn't that great?
You can learn more on YouTube than in all of public school.
That's
K
true.
through 12.
People are going to be like, I graduated from YouTube.
Yeah.
And
that degree will get them further in life.
I mean, it's the wave of the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
What happened after high school? Where do we go from there?
After high school, so my grades were not great in high school up until like the very end.
Yeah.
So it made it challenging for me to even get into college, which I hadn't thought about really until junior year, I guess.
Yeah.
And so the school I applied to rejected me. And then I wrote a letter. A teacher who secretly liked me and I thought hated me wrote a letter for me, and my mom wrote a letter. And they accepted me on a temporary basis. And I got all straight A's for the first time. Finally.
Where did you go to?
I went to IUPUI, Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. And then I went to Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana.
The big one.
Mm-hmm. And then I studied abroad in the Gold Coast at Bond University.
Where?
Bond University.
Where's that?
It's in the Gold Coast in Australia, Queensland.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that was a program that's part
And I went with Nikki, too.
And that's a program that was part of Indiana?
No, that was just something I decided to do because I think I got jealous because my boyfriend at the time, he went to Spain.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to balance out the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he's not like fucking doing anything wrong over there, and even when you're not doing anything, you know, you got.
No, it's not like I thought he was doing anything wrong. It just
Yeah.
seemed like it was a really formative experience, and I wanted to experience things. And you know, it's like I'd finally started thinking about my future and what I wanted to do, and applying myself. And I guess I hadn't done that in a long time.
What was it like being in Australia with Nikki?
Oh, we had a good time.
How long were you there for?
Just a few months.
Was it? What,
We still have friends that we hang out with that we met there. I mean, they're not Australian, but they're from New England. And so when we came back, we would meet up with them, different parts of the country, and we would drink in those parts.
Nice. Well, did you say it was like part of a program that you went there?
Yeah, no, it was just like a study abroad program that
Oh, I
wasn't
see.
directly through the school. God, I can't remember. I think it was called like Study Australia or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Was it for any sort of credit or anything like that?
Yeah, I did get some credits that transferred over. I
Gotcha.
studied like a couple of psychology things and some other like Australian studies stuff that was harder than I thought it would be.
What did you notice, you know, generally, what is the biggest difference between living in the States and when you went over there? Like, what about the culture over there? Maybe it wasn't a big difference.
The thing I noticed is where I was, it seemed like everything closed early. And it was weird that there was like a bar on campus. I thought that was really strange. Because like the school I went to was like technically a dry campus. I mean, we had bars and
Outside,
stuff
yeah.
outside, but like this was like a part of the school. It was like the school bar.
Sounds
and I
great.
thought that was so weird. Yeah, we were like, cool. There was like a school sponsored pub crawl. And I thought that was really weird.
It's kind of better in that way. I mean, this comes up every so often, how the drinking age should really be 18.
Yeah, totally.
It would just make everyone's job a lot easier. Just like that way, less and less kids are drinking in the shadows, and there will be more like.
Yeah, and they'll have less on their arrest records, which
Right.
happened to me too. I'm sure you're not surprised. Underage drinking twice.
But it sounds like
8th grade and then senior year. But most of the senior class was on that bus.
It sounds like you're a good person. You never do anything too horrible. That's what it seems like. Sound like you do a lot of little mischievous things.
Yes, mischievous is the great word.
You like to build a resume of mischievous things. You're not gonna do 1, 2, 3 horrible things, but you want to do long list of mischievous.
Well,
things.
I blame Nikki.
You blame her,
Yeah,
and why is that?
because she's the one that she's always there during my most mischievous moments.
Who started the fight back in high school?
I mean,
It was just coming to a head.
I kind of feel, and I kind of feel like I did because I don't know, I didn't like her, and I was probably looking for an excuse to confront her, and she was beefing with another friend of mine at the time, and I was dared to throw gum in her hair, and I did. I can't believe I did that. It's so fucked up.
And she had to cut it out and all this.
She had long hair.
Yeah.
She was just like, what the hell? And then like my friend was talking shit to her and she was like, get off me, nappy. That was like a thing back then. And then I was like, what'd you say? And then my whole thing was like, I'm not going to start a fight, but if you hit one of my friends, then I'll jump in. Like that was more dignified. So yeah, that's how it started.
You guys are a couple of badasses.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so you
Dumb
went to,
kids.
Yeah, so you went to Australia with Nikki, and then you were studying abroad, and then I guess you came back to the States and
Finished
guessing
up school.
Yeah, you graduated from Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
and then what happened?
I had a degree in psychology, and I got an honors thesis. I did an honors thesis and studied some neuroscience stuff.
Well, yeah, what were you planning to do? I mean,
I got a psychology major and a business minor. And my plan was to go into industrial/organizational psychology to like work with businesses to increase worker productivity and stuff like that. And
makes sense. It's a good cross section of what you were studying.
that's why I did it. Because I was like, well, because at IUPUI, they had a track specifically for IO psychology, but I think it was mainly through the Purdue side. And so Indiana University didn't offer that. So I had to like kind of say, I'll take this major and this minor, and hopefully it'll be like like good credentials to do what I want to do. And then, so all my electives were business classes for my business minor. And then I had like one elective left, and I was like, I'm going to take something fun for me. finally, I've earned it. And I took an acting class.
I figured it would be something along those lines.
And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to move to LA and do acting.
Is that basically what happened?
Long story short, kind of, yeah.
You got the bug.
God, I hate when it's called that.
I know. You know,
I hate that.
But it's funny because like I'm not an actor, but I have taken a couple of like classes, like just like afternoon seminar things, like acting for non-actors, and like the second or time I like did it, like I started to like actually get into it and did better. And I was like, oh shit, I could see how like this people actually get this like
bug.
Yeah. So even though it's a cliche, that's kind of why I use it.
I got bit by the acting bug when I saw a play. That does remind me of a play I saw.
I'll use all old-timey Hollywood terminology.
My friend, or not my friend, like a field trip we went on to see a play in junior high. Nikki was there too. We had some really funny jokes. But anyway, like at the end, the actors were like taking Q&A from the students, and there were students from other schools. And so this girl raises her hand. She's like, I have a question. When you start, like, I don't even know what the question was, but like when you became an actor, what would you do? And he was like, well, I think he's like, excuse me, I wasn't done talking. And I still remember that to this day. I was like, damn, bitch. That was hilarious.
She asked a question. He jumped in at the sounded like the right point. I heard the inflection. There was a question at the end of that sentence.
I just couldn't believe that she said it like that. I was like, whoa. It was entertaining, and I remember it a million years later, so
there's no doubt that that's a terrible person. Because that's not even something you do when you have that's not even behavior. Like if you have a bad day, you wouldn't like lash out in that way. I don't think that's like her personality. That's like who she is.
That's like, oh, she's okay. This is what we're doing. Okay.
Let's go get her.
Yeah. And the actor, I remember the actor being pretty gracious about it. Like, not.
He's probably heard it all.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
So you took this class and then you graduated and you moved to LA.
I just figured I needed to move to California. And to me, I didn't think of California as being this huge state that like was totally different. After high school, me and my friend Monica talked about we're going to move out to California. Her dad lived there. She's like, I'm going. I'm like, I'm definitely going too. And then so she went after high school.
So seeds were planted.
Yeah.
The thought was planted. Even if you weren't going to pursue acting or comedy or whatever, you already had like, oh, California's like kind of in the back of my mind, maybe even closer to the forefront at various points.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to move to California. That was like yes, that's what I'm doing. And I would visit her during the summer and hang out for a while.
What part of California was she?
She's in Northern California. Around Berkeley.
You weren't even sure if it was going to be LA or whatever.
I didn't know.
You just knew California.
Yeah, to me, I think I was thinking Southern California, but like in my mind, it's all of California. When you know, so different.
Yeah,
it's so different
over there to the left, to the west.
Exactly. I mainly wanted to live somewhere that didn't have tornadoes.
Yeah, because you had to deal with.
I was afraid of tornadoes and storms.
Yeah. What about earthquakes?
Well, now I'm terrified of those too.
There's always something.
Yeah. I thought about Arizona.
Yeah.
And it's pretty hot. It's pretty hot.
Yeah. It's too hot there.
I think it's too hot.
Yeah.
And there's not enough going on.
Yeah.
LA's got action. Yeah. You know?
Even Phoenix is, I hear, not the most exciting place. It's a city, I guess. I've never been to Phoenix.
I think I flew in there.
Yeah. Been to the airport. Beautiful place from what I hear.
And drove to Sedona.
That place I hear is cool.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get out there. I'm going to
go for
get
it.
my car right after we're done recording.
It's probably not that long of a drive.
Is that basically what you did? You drove from Indiana to Los Angeles? Is that kind of...
No.
You flew?
No.
When you
I didn't want to do that. Nikki did, though. She's more adventurous than me.
So you guys moved at the same time together?
Oh, yeah. We lived together.
And you moved to LA together?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I knew I wanted to move out to California. And then with the whole acting thing, I don't know. I think something Monica said to me like really stuck with me. She was like, I always thought you were going to do something more fun, because I was going to go to grad school and stuff. And I was like, wow, that really stuck with me. So I was like, okay. And I told my mom what I wanted to do. And my mom was very helpful. And she's like, well, here's this school. You can, if you get in here, there's one in New York and there's one in LA.
How did she know? She just did research.
She's a researcher. She's a researcher. She's a researcher worrywart. So she looked up this school, American Academy of Dramatic Arts. We drove to New York. I auditioned and then did their summer program in LA and then a year in the program. But by then I had so much student loan debt. But that's how I got out here. I went to school. And Nikki went to grad school at Cal State, Dominguez Hills, and we lived in El Segundo. The end.
Was she studying acting or
psychology?
So she wasn't even in California for entertainment or anything like that.
No,
she just wanted to live in California.
Yeah.
Okay,
but her dad lives in Northern California, so it wasn't as big of a deal to her.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what happened when you're in LA, you're living with Nikki, you're taking acting classes, you're dealing with crazy debt? Where does your life go from there?
Well, I finished school-ish and then started getting into sketch comedy. Nikki and I lived together, but ultimately I moved to the Valley where I experienced my first earthquake that shook me. No pun intended. And then, I don't know, my brother actually did a stint out here with me. We were roommates for a little bit. And then he moved to Hawaii, and then now he's back in Indiana. So I did sketch comedy, and then that led to me meeting some good friends, and eventually I took a stand-up workshop or something. And from there, from doing that first show, I was like, oh, okay, this is what I should do.
Yeah, it sounds like you've always been silly, always been funny, always been mischievous. You always liked Beavis and Butthead. But when you started to get into acting at Indiana, I'm guessing that was more like serious dramatic acting.
I just did one class. I did like a monologue. It was terrifying.
Yeah. But it wasn't any sort of comedic that you had experienced. Your first real comedic experience was in sketch?
Well, I knew I wanted to do something in comedy. And we did like at American Academy. We did like one semester was drama. The second semester was comedy. And so the first semester was And then we get cast in these plays. And I was put in I guess they're all ensembles. But my part was like, it was fine. And then the comedy season or the comedy semester, I felt a lot more comfortable and really into it and embraced it. And I was in two plays that I had the lead role in one of them, and then a really good part in another one. And I helped with the blocking and stuff.
You got a lot of good experience, it sounds like, in this class and training.
Yeah, we did
you're talking
voice.
About in LA. You're talking about. You're talking about
American Academy of Dramatic Arts.
Gotcha. So there was comedy training and experience.
Yeah, we did the comedy semester, and then we'd have to do comedic scenes in class, and then we'd do like history. We did dance, and we had vocal lessons, and physical. What is it called? Dance, body movement. I don't know. But during the music thing, I'm a terrible singer. But we got to do we were supposed to make our songs into scenarios, but live, kind of like a video, but live. And so mine was really funny. And then everyone kept asking me hey, can you direct mine? Can you do mine? Can you do mine? And that was really validating. That felt really good. So I could just make them funny,
Nice.
Yeah. So that's it.
And sketch led to stand-up, you said? Or that you took a stand-up?
Yeah, I met a friend and I was in an all-female cast of, it's called Monty Python, and we did Monty Python sketches, but with our own spin and with our own characters, and we wore ties. Fun. Yeah, so I met a couple good friends there, and I got this crazy agent who was like, if you want to do comedy, you need to do stand-up. No one pays for improv. Spoiler alert.
So I've heard.
Spoiler alert. No one pays for comedy either. Well, they do, but it's
slightly more than improv.
I don't know.
So you took a class, what was it?
A workshop.
A workshop, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
In stand up, and you liked it right away.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
got a lot out of it.
Yeah. It felt really good. If I got bit by any bug, it was the stand-up bug. Ooh, I'm a bug.
And what kind of stuff were you writing about in the early days? I'm guessing you did some open mics when, after the workshop, or kind of
Yeah, I did.
eased your way into it or dove into it.
Yeah, I feel like the workshop helped me with like some basic tools and structure, and the mics helped me with, and the shows, and then the bringer shows. It was a whole fandango, like trying to figure out how to get booked, and like trying to figure out how to get booked without doing bringer shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just bringing people to...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bring 5 people, bring 10 people.
Otherwise, you have to pay for...
Or like you don't get to perform, or you get a shitty spot, or like they harass you. They're like gangsters. They'll message you, how many people you got coming? You're like, well, I just did a show last week and I don't know if people can come out, but I'm trying. And someone at work said that they would come. And then, and then people wouldn't show up. And you're like, please come to my show. Please come to my show. I'm new at this. I'm not very good. Please come to my show.
Yeah, that's a hard position to be in, like, especially as someone who's trying to get established and is new, and like you don't know if people are coming. You're just trying to like remember your jokes probably and do a good job on stage. It's hard. You shouldn't have to be worried about all this like other extracurricular things going on.
It was stressful,
but it got better.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, a Bring Your Show producer that I became friends with. I asked her, I was like, look, I don't want to do bringer shows anymore. Like, what do I do? And she was like, oh, just don't. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, just decide that you're not going to do anymore. And she kind of helped me with what to say. And then it wasn't an issue. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find other places to perform.
Yeah. When you do open mics, people see you, or the more you perform, the more people ask you to perform.
Right. And what about acting in LA? How's that going? How's that been?
You know what? That's part of like what I really loved about stand-up, because with acting, I felt like I was on this grind a lot. Like, and it's expensive too. You're getting headshots, you're taking classes, you're getting those headshots retouched, and then you're getting those headshots printed, and then you're doing postcards, and then you're
postcards for what?
Like to casting directors or potential agents, and then you're spending money to get their addresses, and then you're spending money to buy the clothes for the headshots. Like, it's...
How often do you have to get new headshots as an actor?
Basically when you update your look, for sure, but you need to look like your pictures.
Right.
Like, I probably need some new headshots. I just got some last year, but my hair is different, So you got to be strategic about it. And then, I don't know. And then there's like casting director workshops and all this stuff. And I felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere, and I wasn't union for a while, and I was doing background work to become union. And then, it just nothing was really happening. And I felt like with stand up, I could have more control of whenever I got to perform and like what I was doing. And so I got a lot more into that, and any cool acting thing I've gotten has been from doing stand-up.
Gotcha. I have a question about acting. How do you, because it seems like a lot of actors who are, experienced actors, to some degree, still take classes or take courses or this. Does there come a point where it's like, I don't need to do this? Or is it just more like keeping your chops fresh, doing more fun things that you might not? Because if you're a successful commercial actor, you're coming and you're saying 2 lines, you're getting a nice paycheck, but you're not being necessarily creatively fulfilled. So is that kind of what the classes are? Like, once you get more advances about continuing to be creatively fulfilled, is it that you need training still? Is it what is, like, how do you know when you're done? Like, Tom Hanks is not taking classes anymore, is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
But other people who are good still might. Like, what is?
He might have a coach or someone he works with specifically. I
guess
it's like.
You constantly need feedback.
It's like the gym.
Right.
And if you're acting a lot, God, it's hard to say. I think it's like...
Everyone's different probably too.
I think everyone's different.
Yeah.
But...
The gym thing makes sense though.
Yeah. You want to work out and you want to have some sort of technique.
Yeah.
So I kind of think it's up to the person, and if you need to be in a class. And also you want to be careful of not being like addicted to just being in a class and feeling like you're doing something because you're in a class.
Right.
You also, you're an entrepreneur, there's marketing involved. There's
No doubt.
like networking. There's, this is a business.
Yeah.
So you have to like be on top of every aspect of it.
Yeah, I know. It's people can have in LA. You have a tendency to becoming like addicted to workshops or seminars or panels or just going to like those things and like just absorbing information.
Always looking for answers.
Right.
Like looking for someone to give you that thing.
Yes.
And there's so many things I feel like that prey upon actors too. They're like, do this. This is what got this person doing this. This has got, and it's can be misleading. And I feel like a lot of it, like, and also in addition to the headshots and the touch-ups and all this stuff, then you have to pay a subscription fee to submit to things or pay on a submit basis, or you have to pay to upload the pictures to submit, like a lot.
And you found that just being a stand-up and just getting out there is getting you more attention, and then getting roles or attention for your acting.
I mean, I've gotten auditions and stuff, but it doesn't seem like the things I get are usually like offered to me.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this movie? Like, do you want to be on a show, or like a direct booking? And that's because of the connections and people that have seen me perform.
One thing feeds the other. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you say is like this could be two different questions, for like your comedy dreams, goals, ideal, like as a stand-up comedian. Is it to tour? Is it to have a Netflix special? Is it to just be working? Is it to have your own TV? I guess TV series would be a different thing, but like as a stand-up, what's your stand-up goals, and what's your like acting, ideals? As
a stand-up, I just want to be really, really good. I guess I want to get to a place where I feel, not that I like quit working on it ever, but just like, earlier I told you probably off the mic, I feel like I'm funnier in real life than I am on stage. This doesn't count, this podcast, okay? So don't get any ideas. But I don't know, to be that free on stage and just to be undeniably,
I was going to say that,
funny and
objectively great.
Good, just not best, but like good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. I think that's where I want to be. And yeah, I mean, I think touring would be fun if it was, but I want it to be like worth it too. I want to, when I go on the road, I want to go to a nice hotel. I want to perform at a nice venue.
Yeah.
And I think having TV credits and other credits would help with that. And also continuing to work
just to
on
build
it,
your
just
profile,
just like continuing to work on stand up and doing shows and just exercising that muscle.
What about acting?
I'd like to be a series regular on a TV comedy.
That's what you want. That's
yeah. I mean, top goal, I would love to like eventually have a production company where I could make shows and movies with all my friends.
Do you write
like Adam Sandler?
Yeah. Do you write scripted things, TV stuff, or you mostly?
I write sketches, but I'm working on the other stuff. I want to write a movie.
Great, that's cool. That's awesome. Cool. What about? Is there anything else you want to talk about as far as things you've worked on or stories? I
have a podcast.
Yeah. We can.
I haven't done it in a while, but I have it. It's called A Little Advice.
A Little Advice.
Yeah.
I see where you got the name from.
My last name's Little. A lot of people don't catch that. You're a sharp one.
I am.
Choit.
I wrote your name down in front of me. Yeah. Choit. That's me.
I'm Adam Choit, and you're listening to the Choit Talk.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Basically.
You can use that for your intro.
Thank you. I might. Maybe a little promo. I could use it for something.
There you go.
That's what I should do. Start getting like on the radio. Yo.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Go back and get all previous 57 guests to.
Just do it on a separate file. 57. Damn, dude.
Yeah, they could just send it to me. Well, tell me about your podcast.
It's called A Little Advice.
Advice column?
Advice column.
Or an advice podcast.
Yeah, I would have a person on, and then we'd talk about a problem, and I would help them with it.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like other creatives coming on and giving some of the best advice they've heard and just getting their general advice. The next reiteration, who knows? Who knows if it'll even be called A Little Advice. But in the meantime, listen to it and give me some feedback and tell me what you'd want to hear. Choits.
Yeah.
What are your fans called? Choit heads?
Sure.
All right.
I don't know.
Choit.
My mom could call herself whatever she wants.
Oh, she's your number one fan? That's so cute. Hi, Mrs. Choi. Choi, what you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll work on that.
Yeah, it's all good. Cool. And what about stand up? What anything big shows coming down the
I'm going to perform in Mexico next month.
Oh, wow.
In Mazatlan.
Nice. You're flying
at a hotel called La Playa.
That's on this coast, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you'll figure it out when you get there. That's first time, I'm guessing, right?
Oh, that was one thing that's different about Australia and the US. One thing I noticed is that they're more versed on world politics and world events, whereas the US we're more
we don't
like
know anything.
we're all about us.
Yeah.
US.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be, but it's everyone else is the problem.
Hey, they're feeding it to us. We're just grabbing what's
That's
out
true.
there.
We
They'll watch the world news. We'll watch the local news.
Right.
Or go on Twitter.
Basically.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you got your podcast. You're going to Mexico.
The Roommate Chronicles. Me and my roommate.
That's another
shoot these
podcast?
sketches. No, it's
Sketches
sketches on Instagram and on YouTube. And I do sketches also with these other comics. Chris Rubio, Amir Khalil, JP Brown, and my roommate Charlotta Roselle.
Yeah, I know JP Brown.
You know JP?
He was sitting here. He was here. He's been in the
Oh,
studio.
hey, JP.
He's not here right now.
So we do, I don't know if you've seen our skits. We do skits on Instagram. So
what is the handle?
skits. We're like, it's just hashtag VC, like Valley Comics.
And you guys just posted on your own pages?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
There's no page
Yeah, like
for it.
Chris just posted one where it's like a two camera shot of us just arguing in my living room. And it goes from 0 to 100 real quick. It makes no sense. It's very silly.
Sounds fun.
Very silly.
Sounds fun, though, for sure.
And then Charlotte and I did another Roommate Chronicle where I'm trying to hook her up with guys so I can get some alone time at home. So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fun. So you get the Roommate that's the name of the sketches?
Yep.
And you got your podcast, and you got comedy, and you're acting. You got your toes and feet, and knee deep, and thigh deep, waist deep in water, many different waters.
Cool. Correct.
Well, I appreciate your
think that's
time for
it.
sure. And one more time, how can people find and follow you?
You can go to my website, christinelittle.net, or on Instagram, the X as in xylophone, TINE little. That's my handle, the X Teen Little.
Cool.
And or just type in Christine Little. It has a pink background. My hair's curly.
I think that's what I did.
It's probably the easiest thing to do. And I try to tell people my handle. Yeah, so thanks for having me. This has been a lot of fun.
For sure. Talk soon.
All right, bye.
So there you have it. My conversation with Christine Little. I wonder if you could get gum out of hair with Goo Gone. Does that work? It gets gum pretty well off hard surfaces for sure, with minimal elbow grease required. For real though, that was a lot of fun. Christine is just funny and makes me laugh, and I look forward to seeing her perform again soon. Anyway, for everything about this show, of course head to peoplewelovepodcast.com. And I think that's about all I got for today. I appreciate you guys listening. Thanks as always, and let's talk soon. Peace.